How many leagues are you in, Tom?
So, much to the chagrin of my wife, I'm in 12 leagues.
12.
It wasn't
12 leagues?
It didn't start out this way.
I don't think it's you're a fan anymore. I think there's a problem.
It's a hobby.
Oh, right.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Ekeler's Edge. I'm Liz Loza, and this is, of course, Chargers running back, fantasy football superstar, and a man who has his face printed on a pair of socks, Austin Ekeler.
Yeah, if you actually see those socks, it looks nothing like me. I'm about 50 shades too dark, but hey, I like the concept. They're trying, so we'll take it. But hey, welcome back, everyone. Looking forward to another great episode here with Liz.
Yes, we do have a great show for you. We'll critique the latest touchdown celebrations from Austin's Chargers, play over-under with a few red-hot roster additions, and visit with actor and fantasy football super fanatic Tom Everett Scott. All right, Austin, I don't really like doing this way, but we have to mention your Chargers' 27-20 loss to the Vikings. You started the season 4-1, but since then, you guys have dropped the last 3 of 4. So what happened? What's going on?
I don't like to sound like a broken record, but it really comes down to consistency. But let's dive in a little bit more, because you can't just keep saying that, right? So I feel like, during the beginning of the season, I think we just came out hot as far as we were on it. We were running the right routes. We were making those tackles on defense. We were catching those balls for third downs. We were aggressive. We were going for it on fourth downs. We were converting. And now I see that we have a little slump. We're having a little drop off. If I could tell my team why, I wouldn't keep it a secret. In the NFL, the team that makes the least amount of mistakes will win the game. Mm-hmm. I don't care what your record is. I felt like we definitely played hard enough to win that game, but we didn't play well enough. So look at ourselves in the mirror and correct it, and look at yourself and say, hey, I'm not playing well enough. What do I need to do? And make steps to make it better.
From a fantasy point of view, you reached the end zone with a third quarter touchdown reception. You have at least 1 touchdown in 6 of your 9 games. However, you know how the fantasy community can be. Here are a couple examples of managers who were less than pleased with Larry Rountree's goal line lead.
It's always fun to watch and see some of the reactions to the game. I see the SpongeBob meme, but let's diagnose it here. When we get in goal line package, we're running downhill. We have Larry Rountree. He's our rookie, weighs like 220. So coming downhill, he has a lot more mass than I do when I'm coming in at 195. So for that reason, I think he would just be a better goal line back. And for my usage, as far as me and my longevity of the entire season, I feel like, hey, let's take those off my shoulders. So that was the reason for, Larry getting his first touchdown, and shout out to Larry for getting it in there. I was happy for him. Always a great moment in the NFL. I still remember my first touchdown.
Please, Austin, continue to be healthy. And don't mind all this chatter, SpongeBob or not,
Right. Hey, all these tweets that availability, guys. Availability is the best ability, especially in fantasy.
I have to ask you about the touchdown celebrations. We'll get to yours in a second, but what'd you think of Larry's first career celly?
Yeah, so Larry is definitely one of the guys that's very out there and very eccentric, especially about his fraternity back in college. And so they had a stomp, and that was part of it. For us, it was Larry being Larry, but for the world, they kind of got to see some of his personality come out, and so that was great. He got his dance in there, got his game ball. I know he sent it back home to his mother, and I was like, man, that's what it's about.
What about you? Was that inflatable guitar a plan? Did you have that plan to be there, Austin?
So there was an inflatable guitar like in one of the suites on the bottom row that I saw before the game. They were when I was warming up, they're like Ekeler, and they're like playing it, and I was like, okay, if I score down here, I'm definitely running over there and we're gonna play that thing. And so sure enough, catch like a 2-yard touchdown, and it was funny because Herbert actually got mad at me. He got mad at me because he wanted to celebrate with us. And so I ran over there. I played the guitar and ran back. He's like, Ekeler, we're celebrating over here. I was like, hey, man, let me hit my little thing, then I'm coming back. But I was like, hey, next time I'll celebrate with you first, then I'll go hit the inflatable. But yeah, no, that was perfect.
How about a little fantasy over-under with 3 players on the rise? And first, let's start with Cam Newton, who per Matt Rule is taking first-team reps in practice ahead of this Sunday's game, where he'll take on his old coach, Ron Rivera. Are you going over or under 2.5 total touchdowns for Cam Newton in his Carolina return?
I'm going over, and here's why. I think there's a really big opportunity for Cam Newton here. Going against Washington, who's been struggling against the pass, just as far as allowing quarterbacks to be efficient. And I think, another hidden touchdown that Cam can get in there is just his running ability, which we saw this last week. Obviously, has Christian McCaffrey back, which is going to help tack on some potential of scoring, from anywhere. So I think he's got a really prime opportunity, and I think he's going to get, over 2.5.
I am with you. We're in lockstep on this one. It's a little bit concerning because if anybody knows him well, it's Ron Rivera. So the defense could be schemed up to stop Cam's particular skill set, but they just suffered such a loss, and they have definitely underwhelmed expectation even before Chase Young was hurt. So I imagine 2 through the air and 1 on the ground, though I don't think he clears 40 rushing yards. I think it'll probably be a lower rushing yard total than people are anticipating, but he's going to manage to find the goal line. He's just going to stomp his way in like he does. All right, next up, let's discuss A.J. Dillon. Prior to Week 10, he was logging a snap share of about 33%. Last Sunday, however, he recorded a career-high 21 carries. Most of those came in relief of Aaron Jones, who exited early with an MCL sprain. This week, the Boston College product is expected to start at Minnesota. That's obviously a defense you just faced. So do you think he is clearing 100 total yards?
Wow, the guy has massive quads. But man, 100 total yards. I'm actually gonna take the under on this one. And I know he had a reception for 50 yards last game, which basically put him over. But just as far as him in the receiving game, I know hasn't been the most consistent as far as popping long ones like that. So yeah, I just don't see him hitting that 100-yard mark this game.
I think that's fair, but I was encouraged by Dillon's usage through the air. I think that he is going to see enough targets to clear this line. So I am indeed going to take the over in this division showdown.
Is it too late to go back?
We got one more. Michael Gallup returned in Week 10 after missing 8 weeks with a calf injury. He converted 3 of 5 for 42 yards. This week, he'll face the Chiefs. The issue is obviously that Dallas has a pretty loaded offense. There's a lot of talent. Do you think Gallup goes over 74.5 receiving yards?
He's just coming back off injury, and they've been rolling basically without him, right? So I don't know if this is his week. I don't know if this is his week that he's going to pop off. I think he's definitely going to get some action, which, he saw last week with 5 targets. I think he's going to be involved, but I think it's still going to be CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Tony Pollard. I think they're still going to be running the show for a few more weeks out before Michael Gallup really is in there making an impact like he used to, and like we know he can. So I'm actually going to take the under.
Interesting. We are not in lockstep on this one. I don't think he's going to see a ton of targets, but he is the team's field stretcher. He averaged over 14 yards per reception last year. And I think in a matchup against the Chiefs that, by the way, has the highest over-under per BetMGM of the week at 55.5 currently, there's going to be a ton of scoring. So do I think Gallup clears 5 receptions? No. Do I think he gets 75 yards? Yes. We are so excited to welcome an actor that you know from such films as That Thing You Do, Boiler Room, and La La Land. But what you might not know is that he is obsessed with fantasy football. Mr. Tom Everett Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hi, guys.
I always am interested to hear about, just people that are outside the football world that are fans of fantasy football. So glad to have you on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love talking about fantasy football. I've been playing since I was in college.
Since in college, okay. How'd you get into it?
Since college, which I know it's hard to tell because I look so young, but that was a long time ago. But I got into it because actually a friend of mine who I'm still in a league with, his name is Bruce Jacobson. He's an ad exec. He lives in New York City, and he still runs this league, and he started it freshman year, 1988.
Wow.
I think.
It's still running strong, huh?
Yeah, but back then you had to look up the stats in the back of the sports section on the USA Today.
Wow. It's
so much nicer today.
How many leagues are you in, Tom?
So, much to the chagrin of my wife, I'm in 12 leagues.
12.
It wasn't
12 leagues.
It didn't start out this way.
I don't think it's you're a fan anymore. I think there's a problem.
Wait, is that including best ball and dynasty?
It's a hobby.
How?
Oh, right.
Does it include best ball? No, it actually doesn't include best ball or FanDuel, which I play probably 4 or 5 FanDuel contests a week.
Well, you should
and
try
then best
playing
ball,
on Yahoo. We do have a DFS game, Tom. Yeah, we don't say the F word here.
We don't say the F word here? Okay, got it. Okay, so some other DFS site will go unmentioned, but I will start playing Yahoo.
Tom, do you have Austin on any of your teams? Any of these 12 teams?
None.
Wow.
None of my... That's why I'm losing, Austin.
Yeah, you might be looking for someone to trade.
In one of my leagues, I absolutely want to trade for you. I have a bunch of receivers, and I don't have enough running backs. And the guy that has all the running backs has you, and he doesn't have good receivers. So I'm like, I should trade one of my good receivers for Austin Ekeler.
What kind of package are we looking for? Let's help you out. We got Austin here.
There's one problem though: the person that has Austin Ekeler on their team, I'm playing against, and I don't think he's going to want to give you up and then face you.
Right.
So we'll see. But it is my brother-in-law, so maybe I'll be able to work something out. Maybe I can take his kid to school for a week, or
There you go. That's awesome.
Tom Everett Scott, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you.
Thank you, Elizabeth Loza. It was a wonderful experience. Austin, such a pleasure to meet both of you. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of both of yours, and so this was a great honor for me.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, and good luck the rest of the day. I know you're going to be scrambling, getting all your lineups ready for this next week.
Yeah, I'm already behind, guys. Thanks.
We greatly appreciate it, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care, guys.
Woo! Well, that was a jam-packed episode. I feel great right now.
Yeah, that was a good one. As always, though. As always. And good luck on Sunday when you welcome the Steelers to SoFi. I appreciate it. Good luck, everyone, in this week's matchup. Unless you don't have me on your team, then I hope to beat you.